We're going to carry on our discussions today about divorce and specifically the benefits of pre-divorce financial planning. And a lot of people leave it too late. So in other words, they go through the divorce process, they get the divorce settlement, and then they go to their financial planner and say, here's my divorce settlement, can you help me? We prefer as financial advisors to do it the other way around. Before you sign the divorce settlement, we like to talk to you, understand your situation, and show you what your divorce settlement that you're going to sign is going to look like for you financially.
First and foremost is just a good understanding of how you married, because that will just help you determine how the assets are going to be split, what you're entitled to, and perhaps just not have this prolonged fight over who's entitled to what assets. So, your financial planner can also just help you understand what your marriage contract entitles you to.
Your marriage contract is quite clear. It sets out the financial consequences of your relationship and what should happen on divorce. And unfortunately, a lot of people go into their divorce proceedings with unrealistic expectations of what they think they're entitled to. And that's where a financial planner can sit with you and go through your marriage contract and work with the normal expectations of what you can expect to get from the divorce.
Yes, and taking then what you're going to get and putting that into a financial plan for you. So there's a few considerations in your financial plan. What would you need post-divorce? Do you need lump sums to purchase a new property? Do you just need an income stream? So we need to know what that's going to look like for you to achieve your goals and objectives.
Yeah, so a post-divorce budget, so to speak.
Exactly.
Speaking of primary residence can be quite an emotional topic when it comes to divorce. And a lot of women specifically want to hold on to the primary residence for the sake of the children. Let's unpack the financial implications of insisting on holding on to the primary residence.
You might find yourself now in a position where you've got a single income running this household. So your primary residence might just cost or become unaffordable for you to keep running on your own as a single person. And there may be CGT implications in selling your primary residence. So it's just important to understand, can you keep this property? Does it make sense to keep this property? Are you holding on to it for for emotional reasons? Would it make better financial sense to let go? And what are the financial implications in terms of capital gains taxes?
I think another factor there is also it's not a liquid asset. If your situation changes and you do need access to capital, the bulk of your divorce settlement could be sitting in
your primary residence.
In immovable property. Maybe let's move on to the role that an advisor can play in terms of scenario planning with a divorce settlement, showing you, holding up a mirror and showing you what the proposed settlement could look like.
Because a settlement can form any kind of asset. So like we mentioned, the primary residence, it could form part of a living annuity. So you need to understand what your accessibility is with regards to the living annuity. How much would you be able to draw from it? So the capital amount might look quite appealing, but regulation states that you can only draw between 2.5% and 17.5% of the living annuity as an income. So this restricts your cash flow and you're unable to meet any capital goals. So if you want to travel or you need to purchase a property, you actually can't use those funds awarded to you for that. Although they can provide an income, there are some constraints with regards to taking your divorce settlement as a living annuity.
Absolutely, liquidity constraints, or if you need a big capital amount, if you want to go on an overseas trip or do renovations to your home, for instance.
And the same could be said for retirement funds. If the bulk of it is awarded in retirement funds, accessing that pre-retirement not only has a consequence on your retirement planning at a later stage, but also has tax consequences as well, because it now would be seen as a withdrawal from retirement funds. So just understanding the asset that you are getting from this divorce, the accessibility around it, and the implications for you now moving forward.
When it comes to estate planning, obviously, getting a divorce, the financial advisor would help the person then to restructure their estate plan. That would involve things like changing beneficiaries on your life insurance policies. You might want to nominate your minor children to benefits of that as beneficiaries of that policy, which in itself can create a problem.
Exactly. So I think what's important to understand is you're going to have to redo, as you say, both your investment planning and your estate planning. So the first thing we'd look at is, when we're taking someone through this process, is who your beneficiaries are. And also, if you're going to be planning for your children on your own death, where do they stay? Do they stay with your spouse? Is there a maintenance order in place that needs to be taken into account? So there are a lot of things that you need to unpack when updating your estate plan now, pre and post divorce.
I think that's what you touched on there is quite important. So also understanding your ex-spouse's insurance. So although you separated, if there are children or there's maintenance that needs to be paid, your ex-spouse is still bound to that maintenance. So is there enough life insurance to continue that? All of those considerations.
And that is something that you can insist is included in your divorce order. So if your ex-spouse is liable for maintenance for your children, you can, make it part of the divorce order that he holds sufficient life cover to honor that obligation should he die.
Yes, so that you're not having to try and claim against his estate if he's now remarried or there's illiquid assets in that estate, that you're not having to fight over that.
So I think our message to women in particular, because this is a Women's Day video, is if you are planning a divorce, don't wait until you've signed the settlement agreement and then, come with your final divorce settlement and ask how we can help you. We can help you so much more effectively if you come to us before, while you're still in the process of the divorce negotiations.